So you may have heard that a little game called Modern Warfare 3 is just around the corner. And if you didn't know, on this channel, one of the things I like to think we do best is dive into the story of Call of Duty. And of course, with Modern Warfare 3, we are getting an entire new campaign in addition to the Modern Warfare story. So what I thought I would do is put together an entire story summary of everything that has happened in the Modern Warfare franchise so far. Just to be clear, this isn't going to contain anything from the original Modern Warfare trilogy, as that's not canon within this Modern Warfare universe. So what this is going to include is Modern Warfare 2019, that entire story, including everything that happened after the Spec Ops, every individual season, and then Modern Warfare 2 with the raid updates and every season that was added as well, all put into one big story. I'm not kidding when I say this is the most effort and one of the longest videos I've ever made on this channel. It took me forever, so I don't say this often, but if you enjoyed this video, you found it informative, and you want to see more story videos like this on the channel, the best way to show me is simply hitting that like button. But without further ado, this is the story summary, the entire Modern Warfare story so far. Unlike the Modern Warfare story, I'm going to tell this in chronological order. And the earliest known thing within the Modern Warfare story takes place in the year 1999 within Urzikstan. The character by the name of Farah Karim wakes up in a pile of rubble. Her home country is being attacked by an army called Barkov's forces, run and led by a character by the name of Roman Barkov. Farah's mother was killed in this initial attack, but she manages to get out of the rubble, and her father and her brother end up making their way back home. Well, massive gas attacks are going on within Urzikstan. Upon returning home, one of Barkov's forces ends up breaking their way into the house and having a battle with the family, which ends up in a very unfortunate situation.
Baba?
My love.
You have to get up.
I can't. I can't go with you.
What do we do?
You survive. Whatever it takes. Never back down.
Farah and her brother Hadir end up escaping the house and making their way into a field. This is when things end up going once again a little bit poorly.
This. Let's get out of here. I'll drive.
Hadir and Farah end up being taken captive and held hostage by none other than Roman Barkov. Sometime after this, in the early 2000s, a soldier by the name of John Price is sent on a mission in Pripyat. We know of this because of the post-credit scene within Modern Warfare 2019.
Zakhaev wants Barkov's throne.
I almost buried him in Pripyat with Macmillan.
That was the father. This is the son, Victor.
This was an assassination mission on a character by the name of Imran Zakhaev. However, it didn't go according to plan, as when John Price took the shot, he missed and simply shot off his arm. We don't know an exact date or time for this, but we know it was before the year 2011, as that is when he ended up passing away, not from his wounds, but rather from cancer. Imran Zakhaev ran a company by the name of Zakhaev Arms, ironically, who was a weapon dealer for terrorists, and later this business was passed down to his son, Victor Zakhaev, who we'll hear much more from later. 10 years later, in 2009, Hadir and Farah have been held captive this entire time, tortured, beaten, and starved. Somehow throughout this, Farah was able to put together a force by the name of Urzikstan Liberation Forces and lead them from inside the prison, and also somehow be in contact with some SAS soldiers. When the timing is right, Farah and Hadir mount their escape, but when everything seems to be lost, we get to see a familiar face and a recognizable name come to her rescue.
Northeast! There they are! Don't shoot!
Who's Commander Karim?
I'm Karim.
We got your messages. Lieutenant Joe Price. Where are the others?
In there. Straight ahead.
Stay close. All right, let's go, boys.
Now, once saved, Hadir and Farah decide to go back to Urzikstan to run the Urzikstan Liberation Forces and fight the good fight against Barkov's forces. Once again, fast forwarding 10 more years to the start of Modern Warfare 2019, in the year 2019, we have an operative in the CIA by the name of Alex. We don't know his full name and it's kind of a mystery. At this point, he is going into one of Roman Barkov's compounds to have a look for some mysterious gas. Upon going in, he ends up finding that exact gas, and when they go to take it away from him, they end up getting swarmed by unknown operatives who aren't seemingly Russian whatsoever.
Marines, Amitat. Lazim Darak. Faran.
Echo 3-1 to Watcher.
Alex, what happened?
Terrorist attack. Multiple Marines KIA. Gas stolen. We need evac now.
You see, at this point, 20 years after Roman Barkov raided Urzikstan, there's two forces fighting against him. One, Farah's forces, the Urzikstan Liberation Forces, but also another group of extremists known as Al-Qatala. They are led by a man known as the Wolf, aka Omar Suleiman.
Our war is not for our fate. We fight to remove all foreign power from our soil. We are Al-Qatala.
Now, the difference between Al-Qatala and the Urzikstan Liberation Forces is Al-Qatala also blames the West for not coming in and helping stop Russia invading their country. So not only are they mad at Russia, they are also taking the fight out on the West. And the first time we see this is specifically in a location by the name of Piccadilly Circus.
Get down on the ground! Right now! Not gonna tell you again!
So once the bomb goes off in Piccadilly Circus, you play as none other than Kyle Garrick, aka Gaz, and you fight alongside none other than not Lieutenant, but rather now Captain John Price. And by the time you save a bunch of civilians, disarm a bomb, Gaz ends up having a pretty deep conversation with the captain.
We don't stand a chance in hell with these rules of engagement, Captain. They can tell us where, they can tell us when. Don't tell us how. My men were tracking that cell for weeks.
You had actual intel on this?
Quite a bit, sir.
Okay, Garrett. You're with me.
So since Gaz has the intelligence on the attack on Piccadilly Circus, he then takes Captain Price to what we call the Clean House, which would be a small house which we find a small Al-Qatala cell setting up base, and in which we find a little bit more information about who caused the attack on Piccadilly Circus. And that would be, of course, none other than Omar Suleiman, aka the Wolf. The response to this is to send our CIA agent, aka Alex, straight into Urzikstan to work alongside the Urzikstan Liberation Force. This is when Alex meets none other than Farah Karim and her brother, Hadir Karim. And essentially at this point, they're all working together to stop one man, Omar Suleiman. And upon breaking into the hospital, that is exactly what they do.
Good, Alex?
Good, Griggs. Omar Suleiman, you are now in custody of the Special Operations Force. Do exactly as you're told, or you're a dead man.
Hell yeah. All demon teams, Marines are secure. Wolf is in the bag. Let's move him to the embassy.
So this is the first time we get all of Task Force 141 together. We have Captain Price, Farah, Gaz, Alex, all in one area because they have captured the Wolf, aka Omar Suleiman. This is also when we are more so introduced to his right-hand man, known as the Butcher.
How about you, Captain? Are you gonna let them die?
Baba, feet!
Save his life, Sergeant.
Now, son!
Give us the wolf! Mercy is weak.
Now, as the embassy is stormed by Al-Qatala supporters, the Wolf and Task Force 141 are forced away to a safe house where they have to defend themselves against attacking Al-Qatala soldiers. But by the time they are able to defend themselves from them, Omar Suleiman is able to escape.
All clear?
He's gone.
They breached the wall.
Fucking hell.
They got him, Captain.
We will find him.
Hadir, get your team to the crossroads. Bring everything you've got.
Yes, sister.
What's the plan, Farah?
From here, we go to the Highway of Death, Alex alongside Farah and Hadir to stop Omar Suleiman from escaping. And upon doing so, they end up meeting up with a convoy, but the convoy ends up going straight for them and attacking them instead. They end up getting desperate, and Hadir takes things to some extreme measures.
It's time to use them!
Russian gas?
Yes! And now we send it back to the Russians! The gas masks are in the bunker! Come quickly!
As it turns out, the person to steal that gas from Alex at the very beginning of the campaign was none other than Hadir, and with these extreme measures being put into place, he is now no longer really aligned with the Urzikstan Liberation Forces, but rather with Al-Qatala. Now after this, Task Force 141 is able to track down Omar Suleiman's location to a foxhole, and things, well, I guess you could say, end kind of swiftly.
Even I cannot stop him now. It is too late, Commander.
He has a remote. Still counting. We can disarm it, Alex. Help me.
With Omar Suleiman dead, it appears as though the leadership of Al-Qatala has shifted to none other than Farah's brother, Hadir. But with this comes some bad news for Task Force 141, specifically for Farah and her forces, due to the American government.
Command has officially redesignated Farah's forces.
You want to translate that from bullshit to English?
It means they're on the list.
What list?
Foreign terror organization list. I've ordered my Marines to treat Farah's army as hostiles.
What? They're our allies.
Yeah, not anymore.
Will you keep your muppets on a short string, Colonel?
Or what?
I'll fucking hang you from it. Kate, these people need our support.
So once the Urzikstan Liberation Forces get placed on the list, Alex decides to go alongside Farah and help her and her people out. While at the same time, the hunt for Hadir continues. Gaz alongside Captain Price and some old comrades end up going to St. Petersburg, Russia. Just so happens to be on Halloween Day 2019. Now their way of getting at Hadir is to get the right-hand man, the Butcher. So they find him, track him down, capture him, and end up interrogating him. And in a very intense scene, they end up using his family to get him to spill the beans. And what we find out is Hadir is going straight for the throat, going to one of Roman Barkov's compounds to find him and kill him. Now, I wasn't originally going to include this in the video, but on the way to Barkov's compound, Price and Gaz end up having a very interesting conversation. Price as Gaz's mentor, and I included this just because I think it shows how Gaz grows as a soldier under the tutelage of Captain Price.
Boss, what the hell are we doing here?
We're cleaning up a mess.
With women and children.
They were leveraged.
They were
When
hostages.
you take the gloves off, you get blood on your hands, Kyle. That's how it works.
Where do we draw the line, sir?
You draw the line wherever you need it, Sergeant. At the end of the day, someone has to make the enemy scared of the dark. We get dirty, and the world stays clean. That's the mission. Now, if you're having second thoughts, then I can do this on my own.
No, sir. No second thoughts.
Good. Now let's get out of here before he kills Barkov.
Now this part is relatively lackluster because they get to the compound and Gaz and Price just end up capturing Hadir, but the twist to it is once they do, they are then forced to hand Hadir over to the Russians. They never really explained as to why they had to do this, they just said it was some governmental stuff. Now, the one thing that Task Force 141 does get out of capturing Hadir is the location of Barkov's gas facility. So Task Force 141 gets back together for one last mission, to go in, destroy the facility, and hopefully catch Roman Barkov. So the gang gets back together and they storm the compound, and upon getting inside, they finally get to the main room of the compound. They place the explosives, but they have a problem. The detonator is broken. That is when Alex turns to Farah with one last idea.
Clear! What happened?
Detonator's fucked.
It's dead. I'll go in there.
And do what?
Ignite the furnace.
You'll never get away in time.
I know what I'm doing.
Farah, listen to me.
No, you listen to me. Because of this poison, my people have known something worse than war. I did not come this far to turn back.
I'm not asking you to turn back. I'm asking you to give me the order.
I won't do that.
Commander, please.
I am not your CO.
Then who is? Because someone needs to light this fire and someone needs to kill Barkov. And you can't do both. I've been an assignment my whole life. This is what I believe in. Give me the order.
You are a freedom fighter, Alex.
You're a born leader, Farah. Say the word.
Go.
Yes, ma'am. Good luck.
Alex, a character who didn't get to make his own choices, didn't get to pick his own name, was just working underneath the CIA, finally gets to make a decision. His decision is to sacrifice himself in order to save Farah's people. At this time, Farah manages to escape and sneak on to Roman Barkov's helicopter. And this is how the campaign ends off.
What's the status?
Captain, Barkov is dead.
Roger that. Alex, charges set? Affirmative, sir.
Alex,
I'm not getting out of here. Let's do this.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All clear, Captain.
Roger. All stations on my mark. 3, 2, 1.
So Barkov is taken down along with the leaders of Alcatala. So all is seemingly said and done. However, Kate Laswell comes to Captain Price with a few left loose ends.
Sakhaev wants Barkov's throne.
I almost buried him in Pripyat with Macmillan.
That was the father. This is the son, Victor.
Lovely family.
They're big fans of Hadir's.
Well, that would explain why he's still alive.
They're gonna get him out.
They give me what I need.
Who's your crew?
Sergeant Garrick.
Kyle?
They call him Gaz. He never said anything. John McTavish, SAS, sniper, demolitions, goes by SOAP.
Why?
It's classified. There he is. Simon Riley.
There's no picture.
Never. Now the rest. That's neat to know. Unless we got a deal.
What are you calling this task force?
141.
So after the events of the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign, a power vacuum was made, and Roman Barkov's seat needed to be filled. And it just so happened that there were a couple of people who were willing to do so, one of which a new leader for Al-Qatala going by the name of Khalid al-Assad, but also working with Viktor Zakhaev, the arms dealer that we spoke about before. Together, they were working and trying to take over a new region, one by the name of Verdansk. Yes, the exact same area as the very first mission from the Modern Warfare 2019 campaign where Alex went. Now, the good guys' response to this was to make a joint force by the name of Armistice, where Coalition and Allegiance soldiers could come and fight together against the bad guys. In other words, Al-Qatala and Viktor Zakhaev. Now, things started to go sour in Verdansk, so Captain Price knew he needed to bring in soldiers that he could trust, and the very first one that he did was by the name of Simon Riley, aka Ghost. But shortly after that, he started to have problems with Armistice.
Price, something's wrong in Verdansk. They're targeting their own. We need to find out why. Send fighters I can trust. Ghost out.
So more soldiers were brought in, and one of them just so happened to be a fan favorite by the name of Alex. That's right, they don't explain why, but he makes a return, this time sporting a prosthetic leg, and somehow out of the rubble of Georgia, Alex lives. But after this, Armistice completely falls, due to being paid off by people like Khalid al-Assad, and specifically Viktor Zakhaev, passing money between operators and getting them to turn on each other, causing an even larger and greater war. At this point, the good guys now turn to PMCs, specifically a group by the name of Shadow Company. Don't worry, we'll hear about them more. But at this point, we figure out what the plan actually is. As we find out through intel in the game, it appears as though Khalid al-Assad has escaped Verdansk. However, Viktor Zakhaev remains with a new plan to activate the old Cold War era nuclear bunkers and cause a massive attack. However, Task Force 141 and specifically Captain Price has other plans.
Show yourself. You're wasting your
Victor.
Captain Price. I am not surprised.
You're a dead man, Zakhaev.
I started a war. Killing me won't stop it.
Oh, I won't kill you. But the fool will wait.
So Captain Price shoots and throws Viktor Zakhaev into a missile silo, then proceeds to stop the nuclear launch. And all is said and done, or at least so we thought. That was until we got the cutscene for the all-new Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. As it turns out, Viktor Zakhaev actually survived and makes a return. Keep in mind, we don't know the story of Zombies yet, but it takes place between Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2. That is why we're talking about it now. And in case you're wondering what happened to Zakhaev, this is what the Call of Duty people had to say about it.
To the year 2021, and that's really important to the story. Why is Zakhaev alive? I saw him die, but did you? Did you really?
I saw him get shot. I saw him fall down a missile silo.
You saw him fall. There was blood. But in true sort of story fashion, if there's no body, he's not dead.
Okay, come on. They can just admit it. They definitely watch my videos. How many times have I said that in my story videos? If you don't see someone die, they're probably not dead. I think I've said it about 100 times in my videos.
Now, Task Force 141 went back to that silo. There was water at the bottom. It had been drained. Lots of blood. And Zakhaev was gone. Now, officially declared deceased. Ooh. But then whispers emerged that he's still alive.
So the last little part that we have from Warzone involves the zombies. So I don't know whether this is canon or not, but I'm going to include it and you can decide for yourself. So, a ship by the name of Vodyanoi pulls up on shore in Warzone. It has zombie contaminants in it, in other words, Nova gas. Originally, this ship was aimed for Rebirth Island, but it shows up within Verdansk. The zombie apocalypse then spreads across Verdansk, and the only way to solve this issue is by blowing the crap out of Verdansk. So again, with Modern Warfare 2, we're going in chronological order. In July of 2022, Ghost alongside Shadow Company were sent on a mission to assassinate General Ghorbrani. He was a member of something called Quds Force, and they were essentially working with the Russians in an arms deal in this situation. And the assassination was brought out by Ghost alongside Commander Philip Graves from Shadow Company relatively quickly.
Target destroyed.
1 month later, in August of 2022, General Shepard, we'll get more into him in a minute, sent his PMCs in Shadow Company on a mission in the Middle East to deliver ballistic missiles to an advantageous location. However, Russians, specifically known as the Koni Ultranationalists, were waiting, ambushed the convoy, and ended up taking the missiles away. The Russians then in turn ended up giving the missiles to someone by the name of General Hassan, who had relations to Ghorbrani, but on top of that was working with Al-Qatala.
The Russians executed the entire squad and got a hold of Shadow's comms. They learned Shepard was behind it. Russia gave the missiles to Hassan. Shepard's intentions were good, but the shipments were illegal and off the books. He and Graves buried it. The cover-up is always worse than the crime.
2 months later, Kate Laswell and General Shepard decide that they are at war, specifically with Al-Qatala, and they need to stop none other than General Hassan. So of course, what they do is send in Task Force 141, specifically Soap McTavish and Ghost, to a location where they believe that General Hassan can be found. Instead, what ends up being found is one of the ballistic missiles.
It's all in English.
Steaming Jesus.
Ballistic missiles.
It's a mobile launcher.
These will go 1,000 miles.
Yeah, at least. How the hell did Iran get their hands on this?
7-6. Get us through to Laswell.
Roger, stand by. Bravo 7-6 Charlie to Watcher 1, how copy?
So keep in mind, at this point, Task Force 141 doesn't know what happened with Shadow Company and General Shepard in the Middle East with the ballistic missiles. So when they find them, Kate Laswell and Task Force 141 want to run some diagnostics and figure out how Al-Qatala got their hands on these ballistic missiles. However, General Shepard immediately orders them to destroy the missiles and move forward to try to find Hassan. Kate Laswell confused, Task Force 141 angry, they follow orders and move on.
Give my team 2 hours with those missiles, sir. I will know everybody who's ever breathed on them.
Negative. I want them destroyed.
General, there's valuable intel there.
This is an intelligence failure, Laswell. It's not gonna be a tactical one. There will be 500 enemy soldiers on that site by sunrise. We need a win fast. Gold Eagle Actual to Ghost. Move your team and call for fire. I want those weapons destroyed.
So they destroy the weapons and move on. However, Kate Laswell still wants to figure out what's going on with Al-Qatala and specifically how they are getting their weapons. So they find a smuggling port within Amsterdam, and specifically she sends in Captain Price and Gaz to figure out what's going on. And once they infiltrate the port, they find something very strange. It appears as though Al-Qatala is working with a new weapon smuggler. Keep in mind, with the supposed death of Viktor Zakhaev, Al-Qatala needed a new way to get weapons. And the way that they did so was with a Mexican cartel known as the Los Alamos.
Look at this. Las Almas. Mexican cartel. What the hell are they doing here? Laswell, Iran's using the cartel for transport.
Give me a name, John.
Las Almas.
So Task Force 141 now goes to Mexico. Soap, Ghost, alongside a new soldier by the name of Alejandro Vargas, go in searching for General Hassan, now in Mexico. With the help of Shadow Company and specifically Commander Philip Graves in an AC-130, they manage to track him down, capture him, and are able to interrogate him.
You executed him and you will pay for your crimes.
I want this bastard in permanent custody or looking up at the goddamn grass.
General, Killing Hassan is an act of war. Keeping him is illegal. Right now, he is too hot to hold.
So they have to let go of General Hassan. However, they are able to get a small amount of information off of his phone. Now, I'm going to go over the next part very quickly because it basically has no impact over the overall story. They follow the lead from this phone, and by the very end, Kate Laswell ends up being taken custody by Al-Qatala. You then go to Urzikstan, where there is a brief cameo by Farah and Nikolai, so Task Force 141 is getting back together. You end up saving Kate Laswell, and that's pretty much the only outcome from that. The next step from here is back in Mexico, where Ghost, Soap, and Alejandro go in to hunt El Sanambre, in other words, the leader of Los Alamos. Eventually, they end up infiltrating one of their bases and capturing her. As it turns out, Vargas has a little bit of history with her.
She's ex-military. We served together.
Different squads, same unit. You were the wild ones. Los vaqueros. My squad was clean cut, señoras y señores.
Until the raid on the Son of la Araña. ¿Te acuerdas?
Me acuerdo perfecto.
Her team was told to cordon off the city to keep Al Araña's enforcers and prevent the bloodshed.
That's exactly what we did.
When you kept out his enforcers because you were his enforcers, huh?
He was escorted to the mountains without incident. Also, to prevent bloodshed.
He was supposed to go to prison.
So you killed him. And you took over.
I created a power vacuum, and I filled it.
So one thing that they never really go in depth about is how Los Alamos actually started working with Al-Qatala at all, but they are working together. And just so happens that Valeria knows the location of another missile. It is on an oil rig out in the middle of the ocean. So Task Force 141 goes in to take it out. And they do an incredible job at it. So when the mission is complete, they go back to Mexico and specifically to the Los Vaqueros compound. However, at this point, Task Force 141 is getting a little bit too close to knowing what was going on with Shadow Company and General Shepard. So they get locked out and they try to capture or kill them.
I'm calling Shepard.
General Shepard sends his regards. He told me y'all wouldn't take this well.
He knows about this.
He's put me in command of this operation from here on out, so y'all need to stand down. It's time to let the pros finish this. And why the hell are we talking like this is some kind of negotiation? It's not. I've got my orders, and now you have yours.
And who the fuck do you think you are, cabron? My men are inside!
I'm afraid not. Your men have been detained.
What the fuck? Go, Johnny! Get out of there! So, go!
So Soap and Ghost manage to escape, whereas Alejandro gets taken into custody with the other Los Vaqueros. Soap manages to solo make his way through the town, through the various Shadow Company operatives, and all the way back to Ghost, where they plot a plan to break into the prison and once again free Alejandro. They then break him out of the prison and they all escape, where Kate Laswell tells them exactly what has been going on with General Shepard and Shadow Company. So Task Force 141 and Los Vaqueros all get together under one big team to get back at General Shepard, to get back at Commander Philip Graves, and to get back at Shadow Company. They do this as Ghost Team.
We are not 141 and Los Vaqueros on this. We're a team. Ghost Team. Good to see you again, Salman. If you're in, take a mask. If you're not, don't.
So they break into the compound and end up getting into a gunfight with a tank that we believe Commander Philip Graves is in. Long story short, They win the gunfight with the tank, they blow it up, and they think Commander Philip Graves is dead. Job 1 done.
You did it, so you and me, hermano, brought a gun to a tank fight. Yeah, we did. So up the coast, and we're ready. Graves is KIA. How's Price?
Angry. Lost a good cigar in the crash. Pilot's okay too. Out.
Alejandro, la base está asegurada. Graves está muerto. Vamos en camino.
Now, as it turns out, Valeria is still being withheld in that compound, and she actually kept some information to use as leverage to get her out. What she knew was the location of the third and final missile that General Shepard lost, and it just so happens to be in Chicago, alongside General Hassan. So they stop the missile, and well, this is what ends up happening with Hassan.
Perfect show, LT.
You called it, Sergeant. All stations. Hassan's down. Enemy KIA.
So Hassan is eliminated, seemingly Graves is as well, and Shepard somehow manages to escape in the wind without being caught or brought to justice for what he has done. We don't know where he is or where he went, but according to Kate Laswell, he is not our priority because now there are bigger fish to fry.
They're working with someone new. We don't know his name.
He's not new.
Who is he?
Makarov.
So after the campaign, there's a couple different battles going on at the same time. We first of all have Kate Laswell sending operators into El Mazrah to fight against Al-Qatala. But that's not it. We also have Ashika Island where Shadow Company operators are going in to fight the Coney Ultranationalists. And further, I can't show this cutscene for some reason because Call of Duty has it copyrighted, but Valeria ends up escaping from prison and Alejandro goes after to catch her, and they are still fighting to this day for what we know. Then we have the story of Urzikstan, specifically the Satik Mountains. In this, Kate Laswell sends in a task force specifically led by Echo 31, aka Alex, who we have now found out his full name is Alex Keller. He's sent into what they believe are mine shafts, but later we find out are massive, giant nuclear silos and missile bunkers. Alex Keller ends up going missing, however, so they end up sending in Captain Price, Gaz, and Farah to try to find him and rescue him if he's in trouble. When they get in there, they find the missile silo, and upon getting to the top of it, they find that the warhead is now missing. But at this point, they find Alex Keller. Alex warns them that Hadir, yes, Farah's brother, has been released from prison and has now taken the nuclear warhead and swears to use it against Russia. We now have to stop Hadir. And boy, do we ever stop Hadir. But by the time we get to him and ask him what he is even doing, he warns us of a bigger problem, just like Kate Laswell did.
Farah, you have the warhead. Use it.
No, Hadir. No one will use it. It will be disposed of safely.
It won't stop. You have to fight them the way they fight us to win.
If we do, we've already lost.
Sister, together we can stop them like we did before.
Believe me, I will. My way, with those I trust.
Listen to me, Farah. They are coming. Kazakhstan is in danger.
Who is coming out here?
Mama and Baba would be proud. Keep them here. Keep this clear.
How dare you? They have nothing to do with this.
Adia, give us a name.
The real Russians. Who? Who? Hadir?
He's gone.
It is shortly after this that Task Force 141 is contacted by a familiar member of Shadow Company to make a secret meeting. And upon getting there, well, you may recognize who showed up.
Alex. Shadow himself.
Welcome, Graves.
Heard you died in a tank in South America.
Well, I wasn't in that tank.
So Shadow Company discusses with Task Force 141 a joint operation to stop the Coney group from stealing gas from Al Mazrah, because they know that if they get the gas, they're planning on taking it to Urzikstan. So they team up and they seemingly take the gas away from the Coney group. However, there's a twist.
All gas secure.
Да. Так точно, командир. Химикаты под контролем. Начали.
Hey, who are you talking to?
So what this means is Makarov and the Coney group got the gas from Al Mazrah, and now they're headed for Urzikstan, setting up the story for Modern Warfare 3. However, that is not the only thing that sets up the story for Modern Warfare 3.